How's it going, everybody? Jeff Slickey here in the Mason County Sheriff's Office with Sheriff Ryan Spurling. We're bringing back the Sheriff Sit-Downs presented by our Community Credit Union. What a great community sponsor out there. They have done so much for the Sheriff's Office, the outlying areas where they have credit unions, also the city of Shelton as well. New CEO Ryan Drake is just very highly focused and oriented towards the Sheriff's Office, and he's done great things.
And the PD, and he's just here to help the community, absolutely.
I love it, and we had a chance to meet the newest canine dog that came into the Sheriff's Office a couple months ago, and so it's just really nice to see them and have their support continue on through what you guys do here. It's been a while since we've all caught up together, and so I thought we'd just kind of take this first time as we'll connect monthly on things going on. We recently saw the huge influx of people coming in through Oyster Fest. How was that event? How does the Sheriff's Office normally interact with the people there and kind of make sure everybody's playing nice?
Well, you know, it's first off, it's great to have this back. I appreciate all the work that you guys do with this, and it's always great to communicate with our community and have them interact as well. Oyster Fest, great event this year. I haven't heard the final numbers, whether they brought in more or not, but you know, it's the largest fundraiser for the nonprofits in our community, so it's very important to us. And with almost up to 500 campsites out there, there's potential for some issues. Plus, there's a lot of things that are unsettled in the United States right now. In large gatherings, we've been receiving intel from what's called the Fusion Center, Anti-Terrorist Fusion Center, that anytime you're having large gatherings, you need to be paying attention to that. So we had a little stronger showing at Oyster Fest this year than we have in the past, just for those reasons. We also had our command post out there for the first time, and I got to tell you, what a great testimony to the community's involvement. The community, through Charlie's Vision, a nonprofit organization, donated $50,000 for us to get that. That wasn't budgeted from the county. That was the community saying, we recognize that you need this. And then we were able to get some grants. Lieutenant Trevor Severance worked really hard on getting different things put together, and we had it up and functioning. I mean, it has a bathroom in it. It has workstations. There's a new item that we have in there that's able to take, if we had an emergency, whatever agency came and they have different frequencies or radios, we'd be able to put that in this computer and with the push of one button broadcast to all of them, which is a really big deal in an emergency for communication.
Exactly. And as soon as you said that, I thought about what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania for former President Trump when he was there, and what we're learning now from the Secret Service and the reports coming out of it, that some of the agencies were on different frequencies and didn't get the information in a rapid enough time. And I have heard that too, that different agencies have different frequencies. So that's really interesting to know.
You know, you can go back in the military. That was Grenada in, 1983, when all the military showed up and they didn't communicate. So the military actually had to do a reorganization so that they have one particular way of communicating, because it's critical in success of an emergency.
You mentioned a little stronger presence there, and as I was walking around on Saturday through the day, I saw plenty of Sheriff's Office deputies and representatives there, additional security as well. But back to the Sheriff's Office in particular, I noticed all the deputies had their body cams on, and whether or not they were on, active going, I don't know, but they were there, and that serves as a couple different ways. A good deterrent. You and I have talked about when people see the camera, they maybe act a little different, or they don't push the fact that, hey, he did something, or he pushed me, now it's on tape. It's also kind of the converse for additional police accountability, which folks talk a lot about as well.
Yeah, and I tell you what, police accountability it's not a bad thing. Some people say, this is a bunch of baloney, or they're really involved with it. You can go all the way back to the Magna Carta in 1215. Police have too much authority to not be held accountable. And if we're not held accountable, it'll attract the wrong person to that. There's a couple professions that have too much power. Preachers, teachers, doctors, and police officers. And we got to be held accountable for what we do because we have too much authority in people's lives. So I've never shied away from police accountability. We love the cameras. They've been a fantastic addition to us. They've also helped us to fulfill some of the new laws that came out in 2021 where we have to record statements now. We can do that on our body camera as well. And the commissioners went to bat, and even before the state provided any funding, they stepped up to the plate and got us those body cams. It's an expensive venture,
right?
But we find that it's super beneficial in every area, and it's a great tool.
I know that when it first came on board, it was, it's a challenge learning the new technologies and how much time you need to kind of be able to go through the information. There's also the security and privacy concerns of folks who may just kind of be in the background of the cameras, who aren't necessarily part of the interaction or the stop there. Has that kind of settled down? You've been able to figure out a nice flow on how
there's
that
new
works?
softwares that helps us redact faces and that type of stuff if we use it as evidence. And we have a full-time person that's what she does, and that was part of the program, is we had to have somebody to manage the software and to go through and do audits on it, and then our supervisors will audit our deputies as well. And then we have car cameras as well that have a camera facing back into the seat if we arrest somebody, where they're going, and on the sides as well. So we'll have 4 cameras, and the program will stitch them all together, including the body camera. So it's great evidence as well.
So it stitches it together through and time stamps it so you can see it the exact seconds from different angles.
And so we'll have 4 different things to click on. So I can click on the body cam at that second, or I can click on the car camera. And so even though the car may be parked a ways away, it matches it all.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I saw on the social media, which is a big way that you get the information out there, scam alerts are coming up. We're getting close to the holidays again. We're getting close to, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I see scams happening all the time, and we've talked about this before, but what are some of the newest scams? What are some of the things that you can tell folks is a surefire, this is not a call coming from the sheriff's office, or this is not how a normal business would go about trying to get information from you?
Yeah, one of the big scams that's been going around for all the different counties is they can spoof their phone call.
Right.
So the phone call looks like it's coming from the sheriff's office. So somebody has their call identity, and it says, it's coming from the sheriff's office. And they'll use a name that actually is associated with the sheriff's office. They'll say, you didn't show up for jury duty, or you didn't do this, so now you have a warrant, and we're going to come and arrest you. Listen, we are not going to call you and tell you you have a warrant. So don't believe those scams. It's going all over the place. That is just not what we're going to do. If you get those calls and it looks real, just say, okay, thank you, and then hang up, and then actually look up the phone number and call the sheriff's office and ask us. And almost always you'll find out that it wasn't us. It's a scam that's going on. That's just one of many scams. We know that there's going to be more scams with artificial intelligence that can mimic your voice. Deputy Matt Colbinson, our school resource officer, has gone with me to Lions clubs and other areas to teach how to protect yourselves from the scams that are coming up. And in that class, he just uses a quick program, and he mimics my voice and has me doing a phone call to our financial manager to give him a Christmas bonus.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like me. So there's some interesting things that go out there. So even though it may be the voice of a relative, because they pulled it off of some source, off of their social media, and it may spoof that they're there and say that they're in jail or that they need your help, do not believe it. Develop some type of a password, or a challenge-in password is what we used to call it in the military, where in the family, only the family knows this secret password to see whether it's really the person, including, I've done that with my wife and my kids, that we have a password and nobody else knows it.
Sure.
Those are things you can do to help protect yourself and pay attention to what's going on out there.
I think too, and I will say I was involved in one of those scams where the sheriff, this was last summer, where the sheriff's office called us and said, hey, you didn't fulfill this thing. We're going to come get you, and we're going to come arrest you. Fortunately, because of the relationship that we have built over the years, I says, oh, man, that's interesting. Hold on. I'm going to call your boss right now and just confirm this. And the other line got pretty quiet pretty fast. But the other thing, too, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Your instincts are not wrong a lot of the time. And so if you feel like, wait a second, I don't necessarily think the sheriff's office would want me to pay in Bitcoin.
No.
They're not. And that's something that you exactly hang up and report that in, though, so you have a record of that so you can share it with other folks. Another one I wanted to talk a little bit about here as we get closer. You were telling me about a rebranding or reboot, if you will, of the D.A.R.E program, which a lot of people my age remember going through schools with Nancy Reagan there, the D.A.R.E program. That's coming back, but in a whole different way. Let's talk about what you were just saying to me.
Yeah, I've got to give the kudos to our school resource officer, Deputy Colbinson. He was paying attention to this, and we just sent him back to Oklahoma City for 2 weeks to be certified as a new D.A.R.E instructor. And D.A.R.E has completely been rebranded. It's no longer drug awareness, resistance, and education. It is a decision-making model for the kids to deal with bullying, with cyber stuff, with mental health, with drug issues, with all the things that they're dealing with in life. And I've already talked with all the superintendents, and we already have a sponsor. Again, our community credit union said we want to be the #1 sponsor of this program. So we will start our first D.A.R.E program at Pioneer at the 5th grade level in January, and that's our test. And then after that, we anticipate this next school year launching it in lots of different locations. So there's lots more to come on that.
That's
and
great.
We're one of 4 agencies right now that have certified D.A.R.E instructor.
That's interesting, and every so often I'll see a D.A.R.E T-shirt still kind of out in the wild, and I remember that, and I remember seeing my. I still have seen, they've since retired, and gone on to other jobs, but you still see that person who made an impact in your life so many years ago.
Everybody remembers T.R. Rankin in this area who taught D.A.R.E. They still ask about T.R. So it has an impact, and we've got to get to our kids before society's predators get to our kids, and that's a real important piece.
And some folks may even make the case that 5th grade is starting a little too late, but that's a whole other topic. Right. What's going on with the jail? Where are we at? How's the numbers? How's the employment? Things like that.
We didn't, but the county just got a tentative agreement on a contract. It's going up for vote amongst the union members, and it looks like it's going to go through, and that's going to make a huge difference on our ability to get new employees. We're also working with the county to see if there's other incentives. Again, all of the jails are hurting for employees. It's not a glamorous job. It's not something that everybody wants to do, is to be a mental health professional, to be a substance abuse professional, detox professional. And our people aren't even necessarily trained to do that, but they're being asked to do that because that's what happens when we bring people to the jail. It's, some anecdotal information or guesses. It's about 70% of who we arrest are under the influence or they're in a mental health crisis. So that is what our people are dealing with. So we're doing everything we can, and the county has been great partners with us, the county commissioners and the county manager, working towards getting more recruitment and getting more people in our jail so we can better serve our community.
Finally, I just keep remembering things that I've wanted to ask you since it's been so long. How are things going up in the North End with the new command center?
Are you talking about the new office?
Well, because you moved into where North Mason used to be, and so now it's a whole kind of... Yeah, our office are right next to each other.
Office moved from State Route 3 there on the Belfair Landing or Belfair Plaza thing, all the way out to Old Belfair Highway where the old fire station was. So now we're co-located with the fire station, which is just a fantastic Bo Bakken, and they're so innovative. And I tell you, all that they're doing is just amazing. I'm so proud of all that they do. So it's great being there located with them and hopefully building those communication and bonds, because half of our agency on the patrol side is new, 5 years or younger. Wow. And that new Belfair office has been a big asset for us. People have easier access in and out. When their emergency happens, we can get out of there, whereas we couldn't on Highway 3.
Oh, yeah, that was a tough one.
It was a really tough one. Plus, we are just hiring tomorrow a new community service officer that will supplement the volunteers. So we'll actually have a full-time employee up there, not just volunteers, because the deputies are in and out always answering calls. And that'll provide better services and help us to expand some of the hours. So we're excited about that. And Belfair is a fast-growing community, and that is a big, important area for us to make sure that we provide services to.
Well, that's a long time coming. A lot of growth from the early days of donated land and a trailer where you had the stuff there. So that's why I thought about the command center, because you were talking about the 70% or so when it comes to mental health or substance abuse. It made me think about what Abe and the team are doing up at North Mason to have those additional resources as they go out on calls. So hopefully.
And I tell you, our co-responders have been fantastic. Our partnership with the city, because they have a designated crisis responder, and then we have the co-responders, it's really making a difference out on the community.
Well, again, we'll be coming back here monthly, either here in the office or at the jail or out and about to see what else is going on with the sheriff's office here as we bring back the sheriff sit-downs presented by our great friends at Our Community Credit Union. They're doing so much for the law enforcement community here in Mason County and the surrounding areas where they serve in their credit union work. Sheriff Ryan Spurling is here. If you have any questions, of course, you can always email them to me, jeff@kmas.com. I'll put the links there, and we'll get the questions asked. You're still doing the sheriff's breakfast. We've got the sheriff's lunch coming back to the Fjord Oyster Bank. Now that that's reopened,
we'll have 4.
4 now?
4. We have the Spencer Lake breakfast at 8:30, the first Thursday of the month, and then we're going to have the lunch that same day out at the Oyster Bank Fjord in Hoodsport. Then the second Monday of each month, I stay after the Fire Commission meeting, so we have a little impromptu meeting with the Matlock community if they have any concerns or questions, and then we have the lunch still at Belfair the second Thursday. So we're hitting 4 different communities every month.
Jeez, man, you gotta keep working out. You're eating so much all the time here. Sheriff Ryan Spurling, thank you so much.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.